Yes. This is the 260. I'm Joe Walburn. I'm joined by the man they call the mayor of the 260, Dave Rickert. Got Matt Brumball riding shotgun. We got a couple of catchers with us. We got the great Frankie Pena, and we've got Ty Rickert, who has had a great catching career in college, Dave's son. So I tell you what, Matt, we're getting a little feel with these catchers, and where we left off at, Frankie, you learned to say number 2 for the double Whopper with cheese, but as I understand it, you got tired of picking off the pickle and onion.
That's
so
right.
You quickly, your English with pickle and onion got pretty good, didn't it, my friend?
I say no pickle and onions.
So here you are. You're growing, you're playing well. Where'd you start in the minors with your journey, Frankie?
So first year, the first 2 years really it's like learning the system with in the minor leagues, right? So first year landed in Fort Myers. Competition out there, it's a friendly competition, all right? But you want to outdo the next guy because you want to get the playing time, right? So that's the way to go. The way it goes. Sometimes it doesn't go that way because it's just like business, right? So first round pick will get the first chance.
And who was that first round pick?
I got a bunch of them. I played with A.J. Piasinski, Bowen, right?
Rob Bowen.
I played with Matt LeCroy. He made the bigs for a little bit there. Chap Muller, he made it with the Milwaukee Brewer, I believe. So I always had somebody out there that was like in the first round pick, So
And Rob
it was a
Bowen
little tougher.
went to Homestead.
Yep. Correct.
So, and this Manny had told me this when he was talking about Frankie, that Frankie was better, much better, but they had the money in Bowen. They didn't have the same amount of money in Frankie, so the business side comes out. Matt, I mean,
oh, absolutely. No, I mean, hey, anybody will tell you they're going to take care of their bonus babies first. I mean, that's just part of the game, and it's part of the business, and it's a cruel part of the business because there is a lot of talent that goes, unpaid, but they end up, getting washed out because they've already paid this money to these guys with bonus money and salary and all that stuff. It's really it's a cruel business, and I'm sure Frankie, you know that firsthand. Unfortunately,
Oh yeah. I mean, it's somebody's head on the chop block, right? So if I drafted this guy for $500,000 and he doesn't make it, we're gonna have
fired.
Yeah, somebody's gone.
More than likely. So, but it's the nature of the business. It's just, it is what it is when it comes to that.
And Ty, how hard is it not to get the steady at bats?
Oh yeah, that's definitely one of the big things being a catcher. You're always expected to catch your pitcher's bullpens in practice, and you get shorted your at bats. So you got to find time before or after practice to get your swings in. You can get that work done.
I mean, you can attest to that too. You don't get your time.
It's really tough. Sometimes you catch like 10 guys, and then by the time it's time for you to hit, we run out of time. So let's go run. Maybe next time you hit in the first round next time.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, it's really tough to be a catcher, really.
How'd you deal with the injuries?
I didn't have any.
None.
None. Oh, well, I said about one time swinging the bat, got a spasm on my back. But that was fine after 3 days. But really, like major injuries, didn't have any.
So,
well, I guess I didn't play that much to be injured, right?
so you go from Florida and then first stop Fort Wayne.
No, so we went to Tennessee. So it was like a middle A, class A type of so that's another thing, man. Tennessee. In the middle of nowhere, because all these minor league fields are in the middle of nowhere. Okay, so you don't have no transportation. You have to walk to the drive-through to get the food. It was crazy over there too. But then from there, I came to Fort Wayne, and that's back in 1998, and that's how I ended up here in Fort Wayne. I've been here since then.
So, when you get to this is the Wizards, what was that like playing in that concrete box?
That was one of the best fields in town, like in the Midwest League back then. Yeah, that was the third best stadium in the whole league. All right, so.
And now we got the beautiful.
Right.
Yeah, so it wasn't too bad. It was better than some of the fields that we play in, in Tennessee and Florida, for sure. So once you make it to this level, you feel like you made it because now you're playing under the lights. You're not burning up in the sun like 95 degrees over there in Florida. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it was great once we got here. Funny thing, you know, we come from Florida, and it's like 75 over there. We come over here, we go to the hotel, and it's nice and sunny outside. Okay, and I'm thinking it's 74, and I walk out, and it's like freaking 45, and I'm freezing.
Where's the indoor facility?
We playing inside tonight?
Yeah. Well, that's what I can't help but ask about, because I think of the great Manny Mota. When he signed in 1957, and his first stop was he played for the Michigan City White Sox.
Ooh, man.
And he was there in April. So think about 1957, Manny Mota, Dave, coming from the Dominican Republic to Michigan City. I mean, think about the change in
At
the
that
weather.
point, I'd be saying the DR is pretty freaking nice.
But what was that like? And did it cross your mind that here you are, you know, you're kicking money back home, taking care of everybody, but man, you're playing ball so far away from home.
It was a challenge. I was a mama's boy, right? So it was really tough for me. I was 17 when I got to the U.S., right? 17 years old, and I didn't speak the language. There wasn't too many of Latin or Latinos coaches back then. So it's like you got to figure stuff out, you know. And me being a catcher too, what they did to me, and I'm grateful for that, they put me with 4 other catchers in the same room, and they were Americans, right, for me to learn the language, all right, because I had to be able to communicate with the pitchers, right? Yeah. So I remember one time, it took me like 4 days to take a shower in the apartment. Guess
4
what?
days?
4 days, bro.
You had to be funky.
I know.
Why did it take you 4 days to take a shower?
Because I didn't know how to turn the shower on. It was
wow. I mean,
and I didn't have to wait to ask anybody.
Wow.
Hey, and what's the one that you like pull and then twist?
Frankie.
Yeah, we don't have that in the Dominican, man. We don't have running water over there.
Wow.
Wow. You believe that, Ty?
I finally asked one of the guys that was bilingual, hey, man, I don't think I have running water. And he's like, really? Let me check it out. There it goes. There's the water, man. He's trying to pull and twist.
Frankie's like, get out. I need some shower time.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But as you're at this point and you're working your way up the minors, you talk about all these challenges with the language and everything. What truly was the most difficult challenge for you in your process?
Being away from home. That was the most challenging thing for me. Yes, I was like living my dream, but I also missed my culture, my family back at home, because like I said, I was only 17. I was never away from home, that far from my mom, and now I'm over here in this country, a different country, for 7-8 months, you know. And the way before, we didn't have cell phones.
No.
Okay, so I had to go to the public. This is a supermarket over there in Florida, and get $20 in quarters, and on the payphone, and to talk 5 minutes.
So that's how you called home, was a payphone.
Yep. So here you go. I'm making $400 there now. Right? Minus $80 a week. Me getting quarters to call home. Right. Wow. So it was pretty tough. Yeah. And then calling cards came around. Now you can buy a calling card for $10, and you know, talk more than 5 or 10 minutes. So
you had to have the sense of pride, though, to come from the Dominican Republic. When you look at opening day this year, 5% of the Major League Baseball players are from the Caribbean. It's about 100 guys. Of those 100 guys, and you'll love this, Ty, because you know how we love our numbers. Of those 100 guys, 60 are from the Dominican Republic.
Yep,
that's got to give you so much pride to be from the Dominican Republic and just see the representation.
I would have thought the number would have been higher.
It could be a little bit higher, but
wow.
But as far as guys coming from the Caribbean to play in the big leagues, it's been the Dominican Republic.
Yeah, for sure. And like I
you
said,
see it in the World Baseball.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they are prideful.
Yeah, I mean, that's like I said, that's the only way out of the island. You know, like you were saying earlier, everybody's if you ask the Dominican to play cash and they don't know how to play cash, he's not Dominican. Everybody played.
Hey, there's your
baseball back
sound
home.
bite, Sonar. There's our clip,
He's
man.
not Dominican.
You know, everybody plays baseball over there. But yeah, going back about a month and a half ago at the Baseball World Classic, I was very proud to see our team out there. I don't watch baseball that often. Like I don't sit down and watch baseball. I like to play. I don't like to watch it. But I was like stressing out watching these games, man. And we got
They were very.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
It really, they were so apprehensive, and I know some guys got hurt and this and that, but man, you can't take that thing away.
No.
There's so much pride in each country.
No.
It's fabulous to watch.
Ty, what did Frankie Pena mean to you in your development as a catcher and all the success that you had at the high school and college level?
Yeah, I don't think I really would have made it as far if I didn't have Frankie from the start. I don't think I would have probably loved it as much. Frankie taught me a lot about the position, but mainly how it relates to me, and just it meant so much.
I'll tell you the little story about Frankie. Ty's older brother is 6 years older than him, and he was a pretty good pitcher. His ball would move. Matt would attest when he was in high school.
Yep.
And Frankie tells Ty's like 12 years old. I'm about ready to send him to a Purdue baseball camp in the winter. And Frankie told me, he goes, don't let Ty catch Ryan. Don't let him do it. Ryan comes home from college, needs a catcher. I was like, yeah, he's 12 now. He's old enough. And we're at the old strike zone. And I can attest, when Ryan's ball would come in, it just cut and just popped that thumb. And it hurt.
Yeah, that hurts.
So I think Ty's old enough. I went against Frankie's advice, and I go, get in there, you're going to catch your brother. He goes,
Oh, great.
he goes,
Messed up.
he went right to it. He goes, Frankie says I can't. I go, well, Frankie ain't here, you're going to catch him.
Oh, great. Thanks, Dad.
That was verbatim right there.
That was verbatim.
Right there.
And I go, I'm sitting there watching. I'm down there with Ryan, and I'm just watching. I'm like, damn, this looks good. All of a sudden, I just see Ty. I called him a few names. I was like, get the glove up and catch him. Next pitch, done. He'd broken Ty's thumb.
Broke his thumb just because he threw that hard, Frankie?
Well,
Or
the
the
way the ball
sinker.
cut.
Yeah.
And the first thing I'm thinking, oh shit, I don't ever want to tell Frankie.
Better
this.
not tell Frankie that.
Yeah, he messed up. He didn't listen.
And then I made him go to the Purdue camp. I go, we're just going to tape this up. You'll be fine.
Frankie, talk about the brotherhood. I mean, I'm sitting here with Matt Brumball, and we look at these names that came out of the Dominican Republic, guys that were your age. Placido Blanco,
Yeah.
Vlad Guerrero, David Ortiz.
Yeah.
Here's one for you, Matt Brumball. Alfonso Soriano,
Yeah, he was pretty good.
Miguel Tejada, Bartolo Colon, Pedro Martinez.
You played with Bartolo's your age?
Albert Pujols. I mean, did you have so many of these guys came out of the Dominican Republic? Were you guys close at all, or kept track of each other, or have an idea of how many? I mean, because in your era, Frankie, there were so many guys that came off the island that made it.
So the Dominican is a small island, right? So anybody that played professional sport, most of the time, more than likely know each other.
Sure.
And we practice together too. So these guys that you just mentioned there, all of them were in the big leagues already when I was playing minor league. But they are humble enough to come down to our level and mentor us.
Sure.
Talk about the game and what to expect when you get to the U.S. and stuff like that. So, yeah, those guys were around for sure.
Manny has a picture. Frankie's not in it, but Manny has a picture. I don't know if he has it in the new place, but it's Torrey Hunter, David Ortiz.
Wow.
Manny's in it, and Javi's in it, I think.
Yeah.
I think Javi's in that picture.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I mean, we play with these guys. I remember Tony Hunter. I played 2 years with him, and a great guy. He deserves everything that he has today. And we stayed after practice because he wasn't a good hitter coming up in the minor leagues, right? So we would stay after practice, and he would hit 500 balls.
Wow.
Right, just like get his swing going. We stay out and work out after the practice.
In your opinion, and I've heard this from in other sports, and Matt can attest to this. It seemed like the guys that were kind of average or on the edge always had the ability to work harder and wanted it more. Sometimes you see that star that comes and he's just a natural. But the guy like Torrey Hunter, who had to become a hitter to make it, do you think did you see a lot of that in the minor leagues where guys just had to find a way to overcome or find a way to hit that curveball and just will themselves into a player, Frankie?
I think Torrey Hunter he was different. He wanted more than anybody else out there, because there was a lot of guys that were first round pick like he was, that didn't work as hard like he was, right? So sometimes you do have the talent, but talent won't take you there. You got to put the work in, right? So that's what separated Torrey Hunter from the other guys, and that's why he's probably a Hall of Famer now. So,
should be.
Yeah.
Frankie, let's start to transcend. You're in AAA. Talk about the ending.
Anything that you do, you have to be passionate about it in order to be successful. All right, so the fire wasn't there anymore. The passion wasn't there for the game. So I had a family started already. My first daughter was on the way. So I had a decision to make, right? So it was like, play the game that I don't want to play anymore, or, man up and just raise a family. So I chose to raise a family, left the game behind. I missed it for a little bit. I didn't miss it. I probably regret it for a little bit. But then after I thought about it, it was time for me to move on of playing. So after I was done playing, I had an opportunity because of my attitude, I guess, to coach for the Minnesota Twins in the minor league system. So they sent me back home to be the pitching coach over there in the Dominican. I'm like, pitching coach?
You don't know shit about pitching.
I'm a pitching coach.
Yeah. Well, I was a catcher. So what do? You like coaching these guys, these pitchers, because, hey, man, you pushing the ball, and I stay on top of the ball and stuff like that. So you already knew some of the mechanics when it comes to pitching. So I went back home for a year as a pitching coach. It wasn't for me. Came back to the U.S., and this is 1998, 1999. And like I said earlier, I've been here since then, since 1998 in Fort Wayne.
How do you think that the discipline you had as a ball player, having to will yourself into being a catcher, the knowledge of the game, the ability to think on the spot with the pitchers, to be able to read body language, how do you think that helped you and set you up for the rest of your life and business?
That's everything. Okay. Look, if you have somebody out there that play any type of sport, okay, and understand the assignment, meaning like understand what it takes to be a teammate, okay, understand to know what it takes to win, all right, or to take the next step, he's gonna be successful on whatever he wants to be successful at, okay, because in the work environment, you have to work with people, okay? It's not all about you. Just like in the game, it's not about one player. It's about a group of people, right? So if you messed up, I messed up type of thing, all right? So baseball is, I am who I am today because of baseball. You got to show up early to practice. Don't show late to work, all right? You got to be the last man out. Don't be the first one going out of the office, So I think that helped me to get to places that people probably didn't think I was able to because of the lack of language or education. I don't have a college degree, and I have held positions like operations manager in a big corporation, right? But it's because of the work ethic and the person that I am, when it comes to like getting the things done. All right.
And that if you remember last week, maybe it was 2 weeks ago, Ty's second catching coach was Kyle Day. And I told that he got plantar fasciitis. He's a catcher. He was Ty, what was he, a second-round pick?
Oh, he was up there.
Yeah. And, they mutually agree, the Reds and him mutually agree, go each other's way. He goes back, finishes out his college, and gets a great job. I mean, company out of Warsaw, the prosthetics.
Parker.
Bio.
Parker.
What? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And he told me, he goes, companies will hire athletes first
Yeah.
because of the dedication that they have to go through. And hearing what Frankie just said, aren't we missing all that in our workforce right now?
Boy, it sure feels like it, because when you hear Frankie's story,
You can't even get people to show up to work at Arby's.
Right.
the discipline, the toughness,
Yeah.
you had to assimilate and learn the language. You
Yeah.
had to learn the culture. Don't you think, Frankie, that you said, you rode the wave of baseball to a life,
Yep.
a better life. Don't you think that was your journey, Frankie?
Probably so. Yeah, I mean, everything that I do is like, it has to do something with baseball. Like, what would I do? Type of thing.
Yeah.
So when
in this
when you're
situation.
going to get your citizenship, I mean, this is a very important part of Frankie. What made you do it?
Well, this is probably 12, 13 years ago. I've already been here for 8, right, with the green card. I'm not going back home. I already got my roots over here. I got kids. I got 6 kids over here. Got a beautiful wife. So I don't think I'm going to go back home anytime soon. So this country has given me so much, to me and my family, that why not? If I had the opportunity to become a citizen, I want to. So I decided to go for it a couple of years ago, a few years back, you should say. And yeah, that's how it went down.
How was you emotional when it?
I was more nervous because, again, like, I have always had this self-conscious about my English. I didn't think I was ready for it. I didn't want to be over there and talking to the guy that's interviewing me and he's not able to understand me. And
Sure.
again, I took time. It took me 10 years, to make the decision to apply for it and take the test.
As an American, thank you. Thank you
Doing it the
for
right
doing
way.
it the right way. And thank you for recognizing the opportunity and embracing it.
Yeah.
Your story is a beautiful story.
And
You
it's
did it
still
the right
going.
way.
And it's still
going. And now, tell us a little bit. I love the roll-off companies. I had one down
I
Georgia
heard
Ty.
it.
You know what we said? Humping and dumping, baby. You get a 20-yard or a 30-yard. We'll pull that bad boy. Talk to us a little bit. Now here you are, all these years later. And as I say, small business are always the Jedi Knights.
That's right.
You're now a Jedi Knight with your own roll-off company. Talk to us a little bit about that, Frankie.
Yeah, so everything started probably 15 years ago. I was in the metal recycling industry.
That's when he was teaching Ty, tutoring Ty, and then what's the guy who hooked you up?
Jeff Rainier's his name.
Yeah.
He was management over there, and I was teaching his kid how to catch, right? So he asked me.
Baseball again, my friend.
Yeah.
There you go,
Was he your
right?
Matt?
Yeah.
Was he your kid?
I hadn't been there. I had just left Northrop before he.
So he asked me, "Do you want a job?" I'm like, "I'm already working, but I'll take a look at what you got to offer." So we went over there to the scrapyard and took a walk, and I was fine where I was, right, making like $11.25 an hour back then, sitting down, putting 4 screw in the gun, a paintball gun and stuff. And I went to this stand and to the scrapyard, and they said, "We can get you in at $12.50, but there's opportunity to grow. All right, if you learn that the business, you can be here in 5 years. Sign me on." So I went for
That's
it.
how his mind works. He's always, what's the next thing?
I went for it, right? So I started as a sorter, temporary, sorting different type of metals. Became a lead guy, then supervisor within 5 years, right? Like they promised if I learned the stuff, which I did. And I ended up being the operations manager and aluminum shredding operation, copper. I mean, you name it, I know a little bit of everything when it comes to that. So 15 years later, I'm sitting over here. I'm like, this is kind of like plateau. It's boring now because I kind of like it's a routine now. It's like,
Is
what's
it
next?
the same thought process of when he was leaving AAA?
I'm always have this thought process. Like, there's always more out there, but I'm not greedy. But there's always more out there, right?
Always pushing yourself.
Yeah, so what's the next thing? So I'm like finding the way because me being in the position and management position, what I disliked the most was letting people go. Because that's the livelihood now. You got to let these people go because, the economy is bad. You don't need 4 guys. You only need 3 type of thing. I'm like, man, that's not cool. That could be me 20 years from now. Now I'm 60 looking for a new job. I'm like, no, that's not going to happen. So I got to find a way to be self-efficient. All right, so I started buying my own scrap on the side, okay, hustling, all right, because I already knew that the system. I got some connections
Joe,
out
I
there.
knew this was going to get you intrigued.
I love it, man. You're talking my language, man. I get up every morning and I figure out how can I earn, how can I hustle.
That's it.
You're talking my language.
There you go. So I started buying scrap on the side. Now I got to find a way to hold the scrap. So I had a nice sport car that a Dodge Challenger, pimped out.
Yeah.
Traded in for a truck, for a pickup truck. Emptied the savings account, bought a trailer for $9,000, started holding scrap. Now the business is going well. I'm working full time over here and on the side doing the scrap, right? So I need more. I need a different way to hold this scrap because I don't want to go in every Saturday and Sunday to pick up the scrap and take it in.
Yes.
So I'm like, okay, I don't have money to buy the truck, but is there like a trailer that can hold these roll-off boxes? Yes, there it is. YouTube the thing. Hey, that's the roll-off
Right up your
trailer.
alley, YouTube.
There you go, Ty. Ty says you can do anything on YouTube.
There you go. That's the roll-off trailer. So I bought the trailer in 2 boxes, so I can have the boxes there.
Yes.
And put the scrap in, and
That's
I
how
come
you
again.
start, baby.
Right? So 2 boxes became 4, 4 became 6, 10, 16, 22.
Woo! I see you, Frankie. That's what I love, man.
And
That's
do
Americana.
Do you
That's
see
the dream.
excitement in him?
I love that
he's
so much, man. I had a
He has more
partner.
excitement for this than he does baseball.
I'm passionate about it, man.
Right.
It's just, you know what it is? Because you're a builder.
Yeah.
It's building a business. I had a partner down in Georgia with a roll-off company, and one time we were driving behind a big dump truck, Ty, and he says, "You smell that?" And I said, "Man, that trash smells terrible." He says, he had a southern accent, right? He says, "What are you talking about? You smell that? That's money. I smell money. That's money I love right there. You don't understand, son. That's how we make money." I loved it, humping and dumping. And that's how, you know what, I can relate.
Yeah.
We started with the truck, and we started with 12 boxes, and we worked our way up to 5 trucks, 300 boxes, and we did the we had the contract for the Mercedes-Benz, the removal of all the debris, man. So you got it, man.
Yeah.
And you know what? Baseball, the drive to get off the island and be somebody, and you still got that today. That is a beautiful thing. You know what, Dave? I've enjoyed all of the guests, but your story is just.
That's why I told you.
This is what opportunity. My stepfather used to tell me every day, Sonar. He'd say, "You know what today is, son?" I said, "What's that?" "Today's opportunity 121 of the year, And he'd say, "Every day is an opportunity. What can you do with it?"
Yeah.
And man, if they get a chance later on to put that picture of you back up when you were a boy, and look at that picture, man.
Put up the picture of when he was 11-year-old and then when he got his citizenship. That'd be.
I mean, if Ben, you can put that picture up of when Frankie was a young boy, but I mean, you got to just look at that and look back. Look at the citizenship. Look at the smile on your face. Thank you, Frankie.
Was a good day.
Thank you for doing it right. Now wait, I want to get to that picture of Ben when he was a young boy. See if Ben can pull that up. But I tell you what, you got to look at that picture and think, man, have you come so far on your journey? And you know what? What a man you became.
Yeah, for sure. At that age right there, I was already scrapping because I used to dumpster dive. Looking for glass bottle that I can take in. So I guess it's like it was meant to be.
So you kind of completed the circle. So
Yeah.
you're down in. So Dave, help me out here. He's down in the DR as a kid. Look at that picture right there. Look at that right there. Think about the future of
working
that.
right there
Think
already.
about that, man. You know what? And you know what though? You've completed the circle. You were a kid dumpster diving for a bottle, just looking for a little extra change.
Yep.
And now, man, you got a roll-off company, brother.
Yep.
It's growing.
Beautiful, Dave.
He's up and down 3 all day long.
Yep.
I see that truck all the time.
Yeah, man. So it's been a blessing. You know,
All because of
it's
baseball.
surreal. Yeah, and I didn't think it was going to be like this, but you know, I take it because, like you were saying earlier, there's opportunities everywhere.
Yes.
Everywhere. Every
what
time
Dave
I drive
says.
around and I look around, there's opportunities everywhere. You just gotta go get it.
Amen. You
know,
gotta
so-
go get it. Did you hear
Gotta
that?
go get it.
You gotta go get it. Powerful.
I knew this was, like I said,
Whew, I'm
this was
fired
the
up.
easiest one I had.
Yep.
Because, I mean, the story just told itself. And we could go on, but we got to start wrapping up. So at the end of the show, we do what we call rapid fire.
Bring it on.
All right. What are you watching on Netflix right now?
No, I don't watch much TV.
What do you,
I don't watch Netflix.
baseball?
I watch highlights on baseball, and then I'm a History Channel guy because you can learn a lot from history.
History Channel guy. Fascinating. Okay, so if you're on the History Channel, what gets you fired up that comes on the History Channel?
The men that built America.
Yep. Great show. Great show.
It's beautiful.
You know why, right? I mean, these guys
Absolutely.
pioneer. They made it work. So that's what I'm trying to accomplish here.
Yep.
Great answer.
What is your favorite restaurant in the 260?
I like steak. So Steelhorn. What is
Longhorn?
Yeah,
Longhorn.
Oh, yeah.
Me and Joe's ate there a couple times.
Oh, yeah. They got good
do
steaks.
a fine job.
They do a real nice job.
Shout out to Michaela Getz over there, one of our ex-employees. She's a manager.
And Dave, Denise had a great question that she wanted to add this week. Frankie, if you could meet someone from the past or the present,
This is a great question.
who would it be?
like family wise?
So
No.
anybody from the past or the present, whether it's somebody you watched on the History Channel, or is there somebody that you would love to meet, that you admire, that you'd love to have a conversation with?
I like to sit down with Rockefeller.
Wow. That's a great answer. You hear that, Ty?
You
That's
know,
a business answer. He wants to sit down with Rockefeller.
I might have said
He
that.
came from nothing.
He came from nothing.
Yeah.
He's also.
But the only thing you got to do me a favor, if you sit down with Rockefeller, you got to kind of steer him away from that New World Order.
Yeah.
You know, Dave and I are a little tired of
I'm
that.
not a Rockefeller
No,
guy.
Sonar's going to grab me, Matt. Sonar's like, don't you start, Joe.
You got to take the good and leave the bad.
Well,
That's
he's
right.
got, in my opinion, a lot of bad.
What you listening to, Frankie? When you're rolling around with that roll-off on the back and you're going to drop that 20-yarder someplace, you got the
So-
music turned up. What you listening to?
So no, I'm a big guy, but I'm sensitive, right? So I'm always looking for the next motivation that's gonna keep me going, fire me up, right? So I'm always listening to a podcast that are inspiring, I guess, right? So depending on what I feel like today, if I'm want to invest on something and I'm not ready for it or I'm not sure about it, I'll listen to somebody and see if I can get some motivation out of that.
Do you think that's how you always were? Always listening to something upbeat or something motivation? Is that how you were all the way back in when you came up in the DR?
So yeah, when I was a little kid, I used to. I didn't have friends my age. I would always go to the grandpa and the grandma and sit down and talk and just listen to them talk about whatever they went through or whatever was going on in their life. So yeah,
And that, my ex-boss used to say that, you know, when the mall was actually happening, he'd say, just go down to the mall and sit down and watch the people. Watch the older people. He goes, the older people are going to tell you how your life is going to go.
well, I feel like if I'm not learning something, I'm not doing something right. I have to be learning something every day, basically.
What's one of the best compliments through your whole life that maybe a coach or a business associate or anybody ever gave you that meant a lot to you, Frankie?
Probably like I'm proud of you, of what you have accomplished, because coming from nothing really to have what I don't have much, but I can choose what I want to eat now, right? It's not like
You hear that, Dave? I now can choose what I want to eat. That should be a T-shirt, Ty. I can now choose what I want to eat.
That's right.
And Frankie, Dave has one final question.
Frank, what is your greatest sports accomplishment?
signing when I was 17, when everybody else doubted me, saying that I was too small or too slow or you're not gonna make it, and I signed at 17 and left everybody behind.
That's right, brother.
Love it.
Right.
Love it.
Proud of you.
Francisco Ernesto Pena.
You got it.
Frankie Pena, a name that will always be spoken with pride in the 260.
Very
Thank
thankful,
you.
buddy. Very
Thank
thankful.
you. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Thank you for joining us, Frankie and Dave. I'm going to let you thank some people. And Dave, first of all, I want to thank you, Ty, for joining us. But Dave, I want to thank you
Good to see you,
for
Ty.
putting this show on, man.
Like I said, we've had a lot of great guests. I mean, Roosevelt Barnes comes to mind, number one, but every guest we've had, but this one, the story was so important to be told because there's so much there.
Absolutely.
So much there. And lastly, thank you again for getting the citizenship, respecting what it meant, and doing it the right way. Thank you, Frankie. And Dave, thank you for all the work on the 260. Matt Brumball always riding shotgun with us. Nobody knows baseball like Brumball, and we're thankful to have him. Ty, I love it when you put your dad in place. We're about the only one that can do it. And thank you again, Sonar. Thank you, Denise. Thank you, Charlene. And once again, everybody, you can find us on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram. If you go to YouTube, click that button, subscribe, because we're going to be here. We're going to be here every Thursday night at 7 o'clock, indefinitely laying down content. So we want everybody to get behind it. We want everybody to support the 260 because this is where Dave and I and all of us can bring these great stories like Frankie Pena. So again, thank you, everybody. And remember, we are the 260.